Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of August 29th. On Monday night, I had the great pleasure of issuing a proclamation on behalf of the City of Bloomington declaring August 29th, 2022 as Tony Oliva Day here in Bloomington. Tony, of course, played his entire career from 1962 to 1976 with the Minnesota Twins, and he and his family have lived here in Bloomington since 1968. As I'm sure you know, this summer, Tony O received the great honor of being inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. It was wonderful to see Tony's family, friends, and supporters in the council chambers on Monday night, and it was very special to me to be able to read and present the proclamation to a true local legend. In 1964, Tony became the first player ever to win the Rookie of the Year award and the American League batting title in the same year. In fact, he won the batting title 3 times in 1964, 65, and 71, a Gold Glove in 1966, and was an 8-time All-Star. The Hall of Fame induction was long overdue. Tony was inducted this year along with fellow twin Jim Cott, and they joined Harmon Killebrew, Rod Carew, Kirby, and Burt Blyleven as twins enshrined in Cooperstown. Beyond the baseball accolades, Tony has been an enthusiastic ambassador for baseball, for the Minnesota Twins, and for Bloomington for more than a half-century. Congratulations, Tony, and thanks for calling Bloomington your home. Also on Monday, we heard a report from the staff of the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency regarding the Burnsville Sanitary landfill. The MPCA has developed and is now taking public comment on and is considering a draft solid waste permit that would allow for an enormous expansion of this landfill. As I expect you've heard, the Burnsville landfill is proposing to increase the size of its landfill by nearly 23.6 million cubic yards. This expansion will also increase the peak of the height of the landfill to 372 feet above grade. Bloomington is formally and officially on record saying this is a bad idea for a variety of reasons. And in late July, Councilmember Sean Nelson and I spoke in front of the Burnsville Planning Commission and explained the many reasons why. Unfortunately, the Planning Commission and then ultimately the Burnsville City Council approved the project and moved it along in the process. Now, to their credit, the draft permit that the MPCA is considering would phase the expansion of the landfill. The draft permit for the first phase of the expansion would allow for approximately 13 million cubic yards of additional waste disposal capacity. The remaining 10 million cubic yards would require a subsequent permit, which could take into account any issues that come up during the first phase. Phase 1 would increase the height of the landfill by 92 feet on top of the 100-foot landfill currently in place. The permit would also put restrictions on adding new trash over historical unlined areas until the MPCA completes an analysis of those areas, and would also require a flood control berm that is 6 inches below the 500-year flood elevation for the Minnesota River. So, better, but still not perfect. Unfortunately, we fully expect that Waste Management, the owners of the landfill, will apply for a second expansion in 10 years. On Monday night, the City Council approved an official letter from the City of Bloomington that once again shares our concerns about the landfill expansion and formally requests that the MPCA deny the permit application. It was the 8th letter Bloomington has submitted in opposition to the landfill expansion. The MPCA is currently in their public comment period regarding the draft permit, and if you're so inclined, you could go to the Pollution Control Agency website and offer your opinions. Comments will be accepted until September 6th. And finally today, I issued a second proclamation on Monday on a very important topic here in Bloomington and frankly everywhere. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and September 4th through the 10th is National Suicide Prevention Week. And for the past few years, the City of Bloomington has recognized the month and the week with a proclamation that points to the significance of being vigilant about educating the public and ensuring those at risk are aware of the resources available to them. The statistics are heartbreaking. Every day, approximately 125 Americans die by suicide, and there is 1 suicide death for every 25 attempts. We know that specific groups like young people between 15 and 24 years old, members of the LGBTQ community, or people who suffer from depression are especially at risk. As a city, it is vital that we continue to work toward not only an understanding of this topic, but a way of working to better serve our community. the City of Bloomington is committed to ensuring that anyone in need has access to services by healthcare providers trained in best practices to reduce suicide risk and to reducing the stigma associated with using the health and wellness resources that can help prevent suicide. I want to acknowledge and thank the Bloomington City staff members who have been personally affected by the loss of a loved one to suicide and who have dedicated considerable effort toward promoting suicide prevention and to reducing the stigma associated with suicide. Here are a couple of examples of their work. Staff from public health, police, and information technology are working to promote suicide prevention through the city's website and social media, as well as including messages on digital signs at city facilities. And we'll be lighting Civic Plaza in purple, the color for suicide prevention. Staff is also promoting the National Council for Suicide Prevention's Take 5 to Save Lives campaign, which encourages everyone to take 5 minutes to complete 5 action steps that fall under the themes of learn, know, do, talk, and share. Community members are invited to visit the website take5tosavelives.org to get involved. And don't forget, this year there is a new easy-to-remember 3-digit number for people who are experiencing a mental health crisis. Anyone in emotional distress can simply call or text 988, and that call will be routed to the nearest crisis center where immediate counseling and local mental health referrals are available. Suicide is a major public health issue, and it takes vigilant attention and proactive involvement to prevent a terrible tragedy. That is a wrap on this week's Council Minute. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone who started school this week, students, teachers, parents, all of you, I hope you've had a great start to the school year. And I hope everyone has a fantastic last weekend in the summer. Get out and enjoy it. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.